الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. Bring this closer, brother. So we start khutbah, that was the second one, we're running the first one. This way it's going to be. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والجنة للموحدين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد وبارك وسلم. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في القرآن العظيم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لقد جاءكم رسول من أنفسكم عزيز عليه ما عنتم حريص عليكم بالمؤمنين رؤوف رحيم فإن تولوا فقل حسبي الله لا إله إلا هو عليه توكلت وهو رب العرش العظيم. صدق الله العظيم. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. ألا إن أحسن الكلام كلام الله الملك العزيز العلام. In the khutbah of today, quickly we will just remind ourselves the story of Suraqah bin Malik radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Suraqah bin Malik, before entering Islam, he is the person who went behind the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Abu Bakr Siddiq in the time of their hijrah, migration. And Suraqah bin Malik was very close to them. He wanted to catch them so he can get the prize of 100 camels. And Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu got worried. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told him, don't be worried, la tahzan, inna Allah ma'ana. And this Allah Ta'ala revealed in the Quran. And that's why Abu Bakr Siddiq, one of the titles of Abu Bakr Siddiq is Sahib Uthnaini, the Sahib of one of those two. So, and there is a hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said, don't make upset my Sahib. So the Prophet ﷺ directly gave this title as a Sahabi to only one of them, which is Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu. So Suraqah bin Malik comes closer to the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ tells him to go back. And the moment that he is so close to the Prophet ﷺ, the narration are two different narrations. One is that the horse of Suraqah, with Suraqah, stand frozen in the ground. The other narration says that the horse starts sinking inside the ground. And then Suraqah becomes so scared. And then Suraqah asks forgiveness from the Prophet ﷺ, forgive me, I'll go back. The Prophet ﷺ tells him, go back. And then he goes a little bit back, but then again he thinks that let me try one more time. And he comes again in front of, near the Prophet ﷺ for the second time, happened the same. The horse gets frozen, doesn't get more over. And then Suraqah asks forgiveness again. The Prophet forgive him again. He comes back for the third time. He tried one more time. And in this third time became more severe, the punishment. And then Suraqah could see that maybe he will lose his life. This time he begged for forgiveness. The Prophet ﷺ said, Suraqah, go back and don't tell anyone that you saw us, and I promise you the bracelets of Persian king, Kisra. And the Suraqah said, Kisra Faris, the Kisra of Faris, and that Persian king was so famous. He is the one to attack Roman Empire. So it was impossible for an Arab man from this Arab desert to get in his hand the bracelets of Qisr. And the Prophet ﷺ said, yes, one day you will have in your hand the bracelets of the Persian Empire king. And this was unbelievable for Suraka. That moment Suraka didn't believe. He left Rasulullah ﷺ. He fulfilled his promise. He did not tell anyone about that he saw Prophet and Abu Bakr. But what happened is that in the time of conquering of Mecca, Suraka bin Malik becomes Muslim. And in the time of Umar bin Khattab, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after the battle of Qadisiyah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave victory to Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas, who enters in the palace of Kisra, and they got all this wealth from the palace, including the bracelets of Kisra. And so Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas collected all this wealth and sent to Medina. It is narrated that about 25 camels filled up full of gold coming to Medina. And when this gold came to Medina, Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu said, where is the bracelets of Kisra? So he got the bracelet of Kisra in the masjid, in front of all Jama'at. He called Suraka bin Malik and he gifted the bracelets to him. And he said that Sadaqa Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made the promise to Suraka in the moment when he is trying to run away from Mecca in a secret mission to migrate to Medina, and he's giving this big promise, and this promise is fulfilled nearly after 23 years. And Suraka had the bracelet in his hands, and then Umar bin Khattab gave him even the crown of Qisra, the cloth of Qisra. And he said that take him around Medina for a tour that everybody should see Suraka, that the promise of the Prophet ﷺ has been fulfilled. So this story tells that the Prophet ﷺ is a true messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's a person who will lead the people towards the mission of the success in this life and also in the next life. And whatever the Prophet said, Allah ta'ala fulfilled, and Allah has fulfilled the promise of the prophets, and also Allah will fulfill the promise given to every believer. If they will continue to fulfill the commandments of Allah Ta'ala and the Prophet ﷺ, they will become successful in this dunya and also in Akhirah. May Allah Ta'ala make us from the people who fulfill the commandments of Allah Ta'ala. Ameen. وأقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين واستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والجنة للموحدين ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله على النبي الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. قال الله تبارك وتعالى إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وصل على المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات والأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات. ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. وصلى الله على النبي الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. آمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. عباد الله رسول الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. إقامة.
الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت ساعة القامت. الله لا إله إلا
الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل اللهم مالك الملك تؤتي الملك من تشاء وتنزع الملك ممن تشاء وتعز من تشاء وتذل من تشاء بيدك الخير إنك على كل شيء قدير. تولج الليل في النهار وتولج النهار في الليل وتخرج الحي من الميت وتخرج الميت من الحي وترزق من تشاء بغير حساب. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا وقال إنني من المسلمين. ولا تستوي الحسنة ولا السيئة ادفع بالتي هي أحسن فإذا الذي بينك وبينه عداوة كأنه ولي حميم. الله سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.